God, Mike, unmute please. Hello, friends and bees and friends who are also bees. Welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week, the plan is to finally, at long last, hopefully, fingers crossed, actually finish Zadnor without everything breaking on me at the last minute. I don't know how it's going to go, so I'm going to work on my relic quests while we work up to there. But yeah, the main goal is Zadnor, and when we finish that, I'll probably, to be honest, I'll probably just keep working on relic, my relic quests. So let's hop into the gameplay. Or let's not, because yeah, I need to say. Every day. Okay. There we go. No, maybe yes. One OBS, you can do it. Not quite. Let me hit gameplay one more time. No? Okay. Fine. Everything was misbehaving. Whatever. Made it. I am boiling, as you can probably tell. Also, my camera is weird. Maybe I'm weird. Probably both. It is. Let me have a look. 76 Fs here at the moment, which is 24C, which for 8 o'clock at night is too warm. So I am officially dead and also dying. Oh yeah, everything is misbehaving for me as per usual. Give me a hot second, because life is suffering. No. You doing okay? Maybe. Let's just go. Get going. So what happened last week was that my hi, I hope you are doing well. My entire PC crashed as we got to the end cutscenes in the Dariada, which means it didn't count me as having done it, which means I need to do it again, which is fine for like doing it. It's just annoying because it means I have to like fish around waiting for it, which is what can you do other than like be functional. I apologise for the engine noise outside. Also, yes, I accidentally bought a 1 litre bottle of Diet Coke, so I'm drinking that because it's cold. Even though I really shouldn't, I should go swap to something non-caffeinated. But maybe I'll do that in a bit. Maybe let's just hop straight in. Zadnor, enter. Yes. Stuff in my eye. Annoying. Just a part of life. It's my captioner. So, how are you doing, captioner? No, good, you are alive. Right. What I'm going to do is player search. Okay. Oops. We put this in shout and not yell. Right, well, apparently, Valriada, like, just ended. It's great. So I am going to go find a new instance. Try the... Okay. There is like some trick as to like how to fish around and find one that's more likely to pop than other, but I don't know it, I don't understand it. Oh, something. Oh, okay, let's register for it. It's not what I wanted, but I'll take it anyway. Computer, please. Just here for me. Just this once. Search. Okay. So this is probably a pretty new instance. And it's almost entirely 25s. Somebody who's 13? How on earth did they get here? Weird. Do you want to knock this 10 and then... Anyway. Kirby, oh well, it's a good name. I probably should have... sorted this out. Oh well. I have a... Well, I'll drink it. It's not really what I want, but I will drink it, and then I guess I will swap to Ordained if I have any left over. You'll be astonished to learn I haven't been here since last Tuesday. So I have not done anything. Itchy arm. It was really too warm for me to function at the moment. Like, I just wasn't built to withstand this level of warmth. And I know it's like nothing compared to actual weather, but it's a lot for me. I'll be dealing with this. Stay here, I think. Yes. Drag your lasers into the party. leave my phone open, like regardless of whether or not my monitor's working. There's nobody else dead on the floor. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm probably not gonna... If I get in, I'm going to die instantly, but I got an invite, and sometimes that's all that matters. We're not chosen, but my notoriety went up. Now I have got Oh, sick. I don't have to do it again. We'd love to see it. I was confused because my thingy just said Blake Connolly, goodness you are unharmed. Teach me to jump to conclusions. What is this place? Leon? Menenius? I missed the end of their cutscene. Oops, did not mean to skip that dialogue. Ah, sick. And the cutscene that I was watching as well, even better. What's the paladin wings ability? It's like that, but without wings. I don't actually know what class this guy plays. Menenius, you fool. It's not supposed to end like this. Wow. Real shame you hours. I apologise, got something stuck in my eye. This is the Allegan relic. By the gods, it will destroy us all. There she is. My girlfriend. In the name of Queen Gunhild, I will not allow you to harm these children of Berkshire. You know that I love Fenris with all my heart. So cool. Gunhilda, she saved us. Oh, Messenger. Pretty uncomfortable to wield that sword as. I apologise if you can hear background noise, by the way. If you couldn't tell, I have two fans now, one for my PC and one for myself. Summer and I'm dying. Please be still alive, Messenger. No. Leave me. Oh, illegal. Please, Messenger, you must hold on. I promised you we would rebuild Boja, and I want you to see it for yourself. For what purpose? Remorse? Repentance? Do not misunderstand, Asajin. I care not for forgiveness. Today I fulfilled my duty to the Queen. Nothing more. I am a Persian, yes, but also an Imperial, a traitor. Justice must be served. The people demand it. Well, this person demands that you stay alive, because I love you. Fulfill your duty as I have mine. Please. I can't. I cannot. Please, Lady Connolly, let me grant her this final mercy. I can't do it. Goodbye, Messenger. May the Queen bless you and keep you. Illegal. Absolutely, positively illegal. Very, very, very illegal. I fucked up my mic, but oh well. Rather a fucked up mic than me dying. No. Well, we'll be together forever in my heart. And also, I can dream of her putting together a, I don't want to say hoodwinked by the Guardians, but speak of the devil. Why not? At long last, victory is ours. There are still remnants of the 4th Legion to contend with, but I believe it is safe to say that the war for Berkshire is over. Many of our brothers and sisters were lost on the path to freedom, but I take heart knowing that the sacrifices were not in vain. that our dream of a new Bosha will finally come true. Basildon's returned to Gangos, and I have no doubt that he'll be glad for your company. Mesija, we thought it best if her remains would not return to Gangos. To some, she was naught but a hated enemy, and even in death she would be an object of scorn. But rest assured, I will see to it personally that she's given a proper burial. I changed my mind. With Oster in FC chat about, in my case, how unfair it is that words are so difficult. How unfair it is that they keep killing Primrose. Stop. By keep, I mean 2, because we've only had 2, well, we've had 3 that are relevant to the story, and only one of them's still alive. Must be nice. Gus is really pretty at night. Very commonly, words can scarcely convey my gratitude for all you have done for the people of Bosha. Well, I did give up my hot girlfriend for them. Though the fight for Bosha is over, our work is far from done. When faced with the 4th Legion, the Boshan resistance stood as a united, cohesive unit. But I now foresee disputes between its various factions as they seek to pursue their individual aims. For that reason, I first wish to create a council of leaders, that we might discuss and establish laws to govern our people. I've already begun drafting documents that may one day serve as a constitution, though it remains to be seen if they will meet with the others' approval. You see, I've chosen to base a number of my writings on the principles of the 4th Legion. With all due respect, sir, I do not think it wise to openly admit to borrowing from the Imperial doctrine of all things. The people will be up in arms. They deserve to know the truth, Marsak, and I have my reasons for choosing such an approach. While many of us dedicate ourselves to the resistance, there are those few who would rather live in peace, even if it means submitting to the Imperial rule. Some, like Mesija, saw the Empire's way as preferable to our own. Wonder why? Because your society wasn't as ideal as you think it is. To discard everything that came as a result of the occupation would cause more harm than good. There are many things introduced by the Imperials from which we stand to benefit, and it would be foolish to dismiss them simply because they came from the enemy. Make no mistake, the Bosha I intend to build to be free of discrimination and poverty, a nation of the people, by the people and for the people. As such, it will require the understanding and cooperation of all. A great deal of blood has been shed that we might have come this far, and I pray that we never forget, that we may never again have to endure such tragedy. Well, I for one have every confidence that you will leave Bosha to a bright and prosperous future. If Alimigo and Doma are able to thrive, I see no reason why Bosha can't do the same. Where's your girlfriend, Makoto? Sid. Makoto, welcome back. And here I thought you might actually take a moment to enjoy your hard-earned victory. Such steadfast dedication to rebuilding Bosha is proof enough, that the people are in good hands. Did Lilja not return with you? Is she yet to recover? It was touch and go at first, extracting shrapnel from the stomach, but she's doing much better now. You should have seen her protesting when we insisted she stay behind to rest. Maeve, I was worried sick about you. Right when you needed me most, I let my guard down. Sorry I couldn't be there with you to the end. Never mind that. How are your wings? That was a little honky, maybe that bit. I've never felt better. As a matter of fact, I was about to gather my things and head back to stomach. Me every day. Sounds like the Trojans are taking good care of you, Lilja, and I trust you won't be giving them any trouble. It'd be a shame if I had to send Jessie to keep an eye on you. Jessie? I think I prefer the shrapnel. Nobody wants their boss checking on them in hospital. Why are you standing back like a bunch of seal maids? You won, didn't you? Come and have a pint or two. Or three. Not to another accent, I know why I try. Wheresoever your path may lead, it seems fortune sees fit to smile upon you. Not only have you led the resistance to root the Legion, by some miracle, the weapon they unearthed from these lands was also vanquished. On behalf of the people of Dalmasca, you have my sincerest thanks. Of course, the war is not truly over until we've dealt with Gabran. He is no doubt planning his next move, and I intend to be prepared for our next encounter with the Imperials. When that time comes, I dare say we would benefit from your assistance. Until the next time, perhaps in Dalmasca. Wink. Go look after your girlfriend. I'm sure she'd appreciate you. Yes, I don't care if anybody else is on the Makoto Lilja ship. It's my ship and I will sail it until the end. A peach shell like that's bound to collapse in a minute. This thing's broken as shit. Another nation freed, following in the footsteps of Doma and Alamega. A dream realised in thanks in part to one troubled soul, who I shall never forget for all my days. In the eyes of the people, she will forever remain a criminal, a traitor. Yet it was she who delivered us from certain destruction. She I loved. Her crimes were said to be unforgivable, but what of ours? Was it not our callousness, our animus, that fueled her hatred? I squandered every opportunity to guide her, ignored every unspoken plea for help. Her loss is a scar on my heart that I will never heal, a ceaseless reminder of my inadequacy and shame. Can you sense anything? Then it's as I thought. The last of the blades of residual ether is spent. The Queen is no more. Who could have foreseen that Mesija would carry on Queen Gunhilda's duty, protecting her people to the very last? Did she believe her final act could affect change in the world? Or perhaps did she at last find the means to do so within herself? An arduous task in either case. Pity we will never know. The Lady of the Blades, save the Queen, must return to us. Avoided the Queen's grace perhaps, but not of our hopes for a brighter tomorrow, nor mischievous for a better Berkshire. Indeed, the hopes shall live on, in me, in Marsac, and all of our people. The lives lost for our freedom will not have done so in vain. This I swear. Berkshire will rise again. A land of peace and prosperity they will be proud to call her. From the Chronicles of the Berkshire Revolution, Hasseljan Orgash. Once again, fighting to us to be an FC chat. If you're looking for Makoto and the others, they've all returned to their homes. I expect you too will be leaving us before long. Though if I may be frank, I believe I speak for many when I say we're reluctant to see you go. Were it possible, I'd ask you to stay and help us in the rebuilding of Berkshire, but I understand that there are other worldly matters that require your attention. We shall forever be in your debt, Blade Connolly. Wherever duty demands you go, know that you always have allies here in Berkshire. Farewell. I really like the Berkshire storyline. It's really good. Meanwhile, at Vanyan and Damascus, Valmain, I know how to. Ah, he lives. Thank you, Leon. You are dismissed. That's all. Menenius is dead, and that's all you have to say? What would you have me say then? You could at least acknowledge one of your most loyal followers gave his life for the sake of your ambitions. Menenius understood such sacrifice was inevitable, and by all accounts he did not waver when faced with his demise. Such strength is needed if we are to succeed. Time is short, Leon. My time is short. So, finally caught up with you. Damn shame. Yet, lest the soldiers begin to believe failure may go without consequence, I would have you sent to the jails in Menenius' stead. I trust this will not pose a problem for you. Fine. Legatus Cabrath, sir. We've recovered the relics Menenius unearthed in the Berkshire ruins. I'm full of concerned cat energy. I'm sure that Noah's gonna be one of our big bads. Sorry for the FC pinging noises. Return of the Queen. Save the Queen. Chapter the 4th. Certain field record entries have been updated under collection in the duty section of the main menu. new gear purchased, etc., etc. Sorry, I'm giggling at FC chat. You know how it be. Let's read our new thingies. There we go. Jesus. Marielle Miller. When the resistance stormed cast from Marcus Latoure, a detachment was tasked with cutting off the Imperial's Dalmascan supply line by means of a surprise attack at the port of the city of Croucher. This joint mission was headed by Mary out of Gunhilda's Blades. With calmness and composure well beyond her years, she led the operation to a rousing success, and it was because of this mission that she is the only of Gunhilda's Blades who escaped the influence of Queen Gunhild. Before joining the resistance, hers was a life not unlike that of many of her compatriots. Her parents died in the Berger incident, and thereafter she was provided for through the Empire's welfare system, receiving a standard imperial education. From the first, her marks were far and above those of her peers, and it was not long before she found herself transferred into a special program for promising young military cadets. It became clear then that she was born for the battlefield, excelling not only in martial prowess but tactical planning as well. Mock battles often found her the victor, even when matched with the most seasoned of seniors. Indeed, she was a student of seemingly unlimited potential, and it was thanks to the Red Mage Lofro that she would find a focus for her energies. The blending of white and black magic was practically second nature to her, and as her mentor, Lofro would see her aptitude for the art of red magic flourish. Marielle learned a great deal under her instructor's tutelage, and when he believed her ready, he eventually taught her the truth of how Berger was being stripped of its resources, how the Empire robbed its people of their freedom. The revelation awakened a longing for home that she had long since forgotten. Her opportunity to return would come shortly after Lofro was accused of spying on behalf of the Berger resistance. Before he could be made to stand trial, a small contingent of resistance soldiers launched an assault on the Imperial's encampment in the dead of night. With their help, Lofro made good his escape, and Marielle took advantage of the chaos to defect as well. In the time together with the resistance, Marielle and Lofro had been inseparable. That is, until the fateful day when her mentor left for Castro Marcus Latoure. Upon hearing the news of his fate, mere moments before her unit was meant to strike, she wanted nothing more than to return to the southern front. She had a promise to keep. If either of us should be taken captive, we must not allow the Fourth Legion to make us pawns in their schemes. Should such a day come, promise me you will do what needs to be done. It was a promise that weighed heavily on her heart, but she would bear it, for his sake. A kitten. A former member of the Fourth Legion's major detachment, Buffy made the momentous decision to desert the Imperial Army, fending off the relentless pursuit of her former compatriots and successfully fleeing to the Berger southern front together with the Rhinoceros, a fierce and yet pitiable beast she had previously been forced to subject to cruel and inhumane experimentation. Upon learning of the fall of Castro Marcus Latoure, Luffy surrendered herself to the Berger resistance, partly out of an odd sense of gratitude to her former foes for the mercy they'd shown her on the battlefield, but even more so because she realised that she and her companion had nowhere to turn. Luffy offered her captors a proposition. She would reveal to them every last bit of knowledge she possessed about the Fourth Legion in return. In return, she asked only that her animal friend be returned to its far-off mountain to live out its life in peace. As for herself, she would accept any sentence, even death. Moved by the girl's earnest plea and grim determination, Azajun took her in, not as a prisoner of war, but as one of the Resistance's own. Help us win your freedom, he offered, and you may see your friends safely home yourself. Luffy accepted these terms willingly, for in truth she had unfinished business on the battlefield. She could not rest easy until she had freed all the other miserable beasts left trapped at the Fourth Legion's research facility, and passed the end of the life of its overseer. Fabino the Heedless, for only in doing so would his cruel and twisted experiments be brought to a merciful end. Will you fight with me, my friend? Luffy spoke gently to her imposing companion. It's not too much to ask of you, that is. Bastions were a vow to the girl that no matter what became of her, he would see her beloved beast return to its rightful home when the battle was won. Lurphy thanked him, then pondered for a moment whether or not, in leading to the Monoceros into the fray, she was no better than Fabinur itself. Suddenly feeling great shame, she patted the beast gently on the nose and tried to set off for the battlefield alone, only to find the Monoceros following dutifully behind her. Though the creature no doubt cared little who emerged victorious in the wars fought by men, it did know one thing. It wanted to stand beside and protect the only person in the world that had shown it kindness and mercy. The Diablo armament. Icons were perhaps one of the greatest threats to the Allagan Empire, and the Allagans devoted a great deal of their resources to two primary means of combating them. The first were war machina akin to the ultimate weapon, designed to feed on the very life force of the icons they were built to destroy. The second were biological weapons resembling the recently unearthed Diablo armament, designed to harness the power of entities from the void. The Allagans had long believed that the Void Tank could make powerful thralls. However, there were two key obstacles to their weaponization. Fuck, I forgot to turn my light on. I tapped into OBS to see if things are going okay and realise that, like, man, it sure is dark because I don't have my overhead light on. First, there was a matter of preparing a suitable host. The strength of the void sent one may summon is largely dictated by the vessel it will occupy. The entity that might inhabit the corpse of the Curl, for example, would be several orders of magnitude weaker than one inhabiting the corpse of the Behemoth. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, was the unpredictable nature of void sent and their need to feast on ether. A binding spell could be cast on them at the time of their summoning to subjugate them, but the efficacy of these incantations dropped significantly when employed against the higher echelons of the void sent. In short, the Allagans required immeasurably powerful host and an equally potent means of binding the creatures to their will. Neither could be obtained through natural means, and so, as one might expect, the Allagans turned to the science for solutions. In the end, they chose to use genetically augmented components to create what they believed to be the perfect host, paired with the restraints used to imprison Mericidian dragons. The weapon discovered in Zadnor was in all likelihood an interim vessel for Diablos, a demonic void sent believed to occupy the second rung of the voidal hierarchy, who we've killed, twice now? It would not be easily summoned, much less bound, and so research speculated that it could not have been encountered until after Emperor Zande formed the pact which opened the gateway to the world of darkness. Moreover, it is quite possible that the ancient Alex intended to unleash this chimeric monstrosity upon the fledgling nation of Osha to test its capabilities. Sounds right for Allagan. Though we but glimpsed its power, it appears that the Allagans succeeded in creating a formidable addition to their arsenal, even comparable to the ultimate weapon. It remains to be seen if more such weapons lie buried beneath the plateaus of Zadnor. I feel like they do. Like, I've just got that vibe, you know? It's on here, as if we don't know about him. Noah I am more interested in. Here, the renowned warrior king of Doma, eldest son of the former King Kyan and his wife Mina, Lord Hien was conceived just before the imperial invasion of his homeland. By the time the Imp gave his first cry, Doma was under the imperial yoke, and so did Hien grow up under the Gallian occupation. Allowed to learn traditional Doman culture and martial arts under the condition that he also receive a proper imperial education, the young child immersed himself in his studies under his tutor Gosetsu, a loyal vassal of his father, mastering the swordsmanship of a samurai and developing a strong identity of himself as a man of Doma. When still young, Hien took part in an armed uprising led by his father, an attempt that nearly succeeded in taking back Doma Castle until it was unceremoniously quashed by the 12th Legion, summoned to the scene as reinforcements. In the struggle, Lord Kyan was tragically cut down by Xenosky Galvus. Bereft of his beloved father, Hien fled desperately for his life to the wastes and vastness of the Azam Steppe. Over time, Lord Hien would come to join forces with a hero come from distant Eorzea to the west. Together with loyal subjects Gosetsu and Yugiri, and with the unwavering support of his people, the Domans, Lord Hien would succeed in toppling the occupying Gallian Empire, commanded by acting Viceroy Yotsuyu, my other evil girlfriend, achieving independence for his homeland anew. Painfully aware of the difficulty of resisting the might of Garlemald as a lone, isolated nation, Lord Hien entered into an agreement with the Eorzean Alliance, while simultaneously enlisting the aid of such independent-minded entities as the Nomads of the Azam Steppe and the Pirates of the Ruby Sea. Together with the forces of Nansha and Dalmasca, recruited to the cause sometime after, these would form the Eastern Alliance that would stand against the Empire across the continent of Othard. Before commencing their own large-scale rebellion, the leaders of the Belgian resistance paid a visit to Lord Hien, receiving from him a promise to offer military support as necessary, as well as inspiration for a method by which the internal conflict within the resistance itself might be mediated, to wit, by reforming and reforging the Gunhilda's blades. For Lord Hien's part, though he was heartened that his own friend had also promised to join the battle on the resistance's behalf, lingering doubts to remind. The Garleans were invading force, yes, but were they not also men driven by their own sense of justice? A war waged between two mighty forces, the leaders of each believing their own cause the righteous one, would no doubt prove a bitter struggle, and one that would not end without considerable tragedy and suffering on both sides. When he heard that, in fact, the new incarnation of Gunhild's blades had been reborn into a tempered monstrosity, only to perish in the end, Lord Hien was deeply troubled. What was the meaning of his presence on such a nightmarish battlefield? A true hero should be a beacon of all, akin to the Kami who illuminate the heavens. Yet all he could accomplish here was to lead the victor over the vanquished, leaving his hands stained with the blood of the fallen at battle's end. And yet Hien understood that this too was a role that someone must fulfill. If not, the people would suffer indeterminately under a rule of tyranny, and so he would put an end to it, even if it meant bloodying his own hands. Better he accept this now than force a similar fate upon the next generation when they grew to adulthood. If this conflict could be resolved without bloodshed, he would give anything to see it done. But sadly, that was not an option now, and mayhap never had been at all. No doubt his Eorzean friend realised this too, and no doubt it weighs equally on both their hearts. My friend, if you would bloody your hands for this cause, then pray let me bloody mine with you. After all, it is no greater or lesser an evil than that which I once asked of you. Until the day when all the peoples of our world can live in peace, let us walk this path together. Gay. Noah Van Gabra. Legatus of the... hiccups. 4th Imperial Legion, Noah Van Gabra assumed his position at only 20 summers when his father, Bash Van Gabra, succumbed to a deadly illness. In the nigh 3 decades since, Noah has effectively and efficiently kept Damaska and Berger under the Imperial yoke, watching his men across the region to quell rebellions and revolts wherever they arose. The fourth is often regarded as enormous and essential command the Empire's Legion, with good reason, for it is the only one to count a greater number of foreigners than native-born Garleans among its ranks. This includes the Legatus himself, who has made it his policy to accept any and all capable individuals into his company. So long as the individual in question swears loyalty to the Empire, the 4th Legion welcomes their contributions, regardless of race, gender, or country of origin. Ability and results delivered are valued above all, a true meritocracy. Gabranth applied a similar philosophy to the provinces under his rule, eschewing the traditional Gallian approach and tailoring his style of governance to suit the people of each individual region. Emperor Solus found this most admirable, though it is said that Emperor Varus was far more sceptical, believing it a sign that Gabranth harboured lofty and dangerous aspirations ill-befitting his stations. Oh? A charismatic figure beloved by almost all in command, Gabranth's fate took a dark turn after his defeat in Berger. His once-water legion left struggling to fend off the combined attack of the Damascan resistance and the Eastern Alliance. Depleted and run ragged after multiple battles with the resistance army, and with no reinforcements from his homeland coming to save him, morale dropped to an all-time low, and the Fourth stood in danger of losing a vital outpost. It was then that events took another unexpected turn, as the Beast King, Leon, taking extreme umbrage at being held responsible for the Fourth's defeat, plotted mutiny against the self-same leader to once he swore undying loyalty. Escaping his jail cell with the help of his co-conspirators, he snuck into the chamber where Gabranth lay wounded in the dead of night. After an exchange of words between the two men, it was clear that Legatus' mind was made up. He succumbed to a subordinate's blade with no resistance. The deed done, Leon set Castor and Valani ablaze and fled the scene to destinations unknown. Later, the body and armour of the ill-fated Gabranth would be discovered by the resistance, though he was not immediately identified as such, in part because the burns were so severe that his face could scarcely be recognised, and in part because so few had seen the face under the mask in the first place. Still, in the end, the identity of the corpse was confirmed, and news of the death of Noah Van Gabranth spread across the land. Bereft of their charismatic leader, the once proud 4th Legion quickly crumbled, some 2/3 of its numbers surrendering unconditionally to resistance, while the remaining third fought in vain before being unceremoniously decimated by their foe. So did the long and bitter struggle come to an end, and Damascus shook free from the Imperial yoke for the first time in over 3 decades. And yet still, there are those who believe that Noah Gabranth did not perish that day in Castor and Valani, that the corpse, mutilated beyond identification, belonged to another. Meanwhile, Leon and the other officers of the 4th, war criminals all of them, remain at large, and the provisional government approved the repatriation of the vast majority of the 4th's rank-and-file soldiers as free citizens, electing not to try them for their crimes on the battlefield. So it is that the people of Damascus still live in fear of the ghost of Gabranth. Further details regarding which will be filled in a future report, eyes emoji. Though Fran seldom discusses her background, from her remarkable leadership and proficiency as both a tactician and warrior, it is presumed the general of Lentestia has many years of experience and most likely an age to match. She is also believed to be a former member of the Damascan peacekeeping force, which history further supports this theory. The organisation was primarily charged with protecting the royal family and capital of Rabanastri, with their jurisdiction limited to the confines of the city. Even among such a specialised group, Fran was assigned to a unit that dealt with organised crime and the most hardened offenders. Fran and her comrades were known as the Sarab, and the operation was completely separate from the rest of the peacekeeping. While the organisation as a whole was established specifically to protect the royal family and the capital, the Sarab's activities included maintaining public safety and order throughout the kingdom. Were a threat to the realm to arise, the Sarab had the authority to take any measures necessary, even if said threat involved members of the nobility or royal family itself. As such, the Sarab worked in complete isolation, with the identity of its members known only to those belonging to the unit. It is for this reason that, even towards the end of the war, with Garlemald, members of the royal fusiliers such as Bagamlan and Wagi never came into contact with Fran. Fran led one particular group within the Sarab, whose duties included protecting designated persons from the shadows, pursuing suspected rebels and cult members, and preventing attempted espionage by foreign nations. The final task assigned to Fran's group was the assassination of Princess Sekrasheli. In truth, it was a secret mission to fake the princess's death and have her live on in secret, thus protecting the royal bloodlines. The plan was a success, with Bagamlan and several other fusiliers witnessing the staged assassination, and unwittingly fulfilling their role in spreading false news of her death. Even the ones who handled the princess's supposed corpse were Fran's subordinates. The mission was carried out under the permission of Princess Ashalia's twin brother, Prince Ruslan, who knew that defeat to the Empire would mean the execution of the entire royal family. With the people of Damask allowed to know that Ashalia was alive, they'd be incensed to fight the Guardians to the last man, despite there being no hope of victory. Rather than watch his people die in vain, he devised a means of spiriting her away, even going so far as to keep his plan a secret from his father, the king. The princess was put into a deep sleep using a method passed down amongst Fran's kin, until the day arrived for the kingdom to be reborn. When Ashalia finally awoke, many of her memories had abandoned her, but she could still remember her identity and purpose. However, whether it was a result of her induced slumber or because of the emotional scars left by the horrors of war, she would often find herself assailed by images of the past. In the years that had passed, Fran had become General of Lentestias, and she continued in this role while also acting as advisor to Ashalia. During the events surrounding the mystical Orosite, Fran encountered the self-same royal fusiliers who had, unbeknownst to them, cooperated in the princess's death. To compound Fran's feelings of guilt, the leader Bagamlan had undergone a hideous transformation and was subsequently killed, denying her opportunity to make amends with him. The 30 years had passed since Bagamlan was deceived into believing the princess to have been killed. Fran could not escape the terrible feeling that, had she revealed the truth to him, the terrible fate that befell him could have been averted. Another of the royal fusiliers, Bagamlan's brother, Wagi, eventually became a loyal friend to Fran. While he and his comrades are not aware that Ashalia is in fact the princess herself, they believe her to be a descendant of the royal bloodline. It remains to be seen whether their feelings of joy will be unchanged upon hearing the truth. But when the time comes finally for Fran to explain the events of that fateful day, she is prepared to face the consequences of her actions. However, that time is yet to arrive. Now that Boja has shaken off the yoke of imperial rule, the resistance cannot afford to let the opportunity to liberate Damask escape them. Until then, Fran will continue to wear the mask of deception and keep the truth hidden from her allies. Now, how much I want to read Sin stuff, I know a lot of this. Just defected to Eorzea, where you found like-minded individuals to run the Ironworks, which provide technological support to the Scions and allies across the realm and beyond. As a child, he revered his father, but the relationship fell apart after the Boshan incident. Midas is grievously wounded. Sid blamed himself because he thought he could have made his father see reason. In the course of assisting the resistance, he came to learn the shocking truth that fateful day. Through the power of the crystal focus to explore memories, it was revealed that the elder primal Bahamut, trapped within the Red Moon Downward, had exploited Midas's lunar transmitter engineering through. Subsequently, Midas advanced the Meteor project at a breakneck pace and ultimately brought about the Citadel's destruction, all according to the fell being's design. In revisiting that encounter with what he had come to know of tempering, Sid recognised the signs. His younger self did not, and the trauma of having his father attempted to gun him down was such that he subconsciously repressed the event, replacing it with false recollection. But now he accepts the memories and takes comfort in remembering his father as the woman-carrying man he once was, the self-same man who smiles at him from the family portrait in his locket, which he found the courage to open again after 15 long years. That's something. Also, only 11 more to collect. Gonna feel like I could closure. So missing bouncer journey, which drops from the fate more machine than man. Missing slight of a shots from Young, drops from the fate or Castrum. Apparently it's like one of the rarest ones. Lovro. Oh. I see. I see. Babino. Do it. 39. Gaga drops from a challenge accepted. Kisselbert drops from Puppet Master. Dabog drops from Comfortable Estates. Second Violin drops from taking the lion's share or the Dariada. And then yes drops from Head and Snake or the Dariada. Okey doke. Here's what I'm going to do. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to work some more of my relic weapons. Maybe try and at least get like one done. We'll see. I am a fool. I absolutely thought it was 20 of each item, not 30. So I was like, oh wahoo, I'm nearly completed. I was not. But I'm getting relatively close to completing this one, so I can deal with it. During the next downtime break, I'm going to put this in the fridge and I'm going to get orange juice. Demented Mentor is the one that I probably won't make it in time. I need to just like hang out in zone 2 and not move for a bit. That's the way to do it. Absolutely wasted my essence of the veteran. Whoops. Oh well. Whoops. I think I'll get murdered. I'll cry. Pick me up, I do Yes, better. Someone please pick me up. It just fucking ignored me. It's homophobia, frankly, that is. On duty because I'm incapacitated. I'd love to see it. Hello, please. Hello, Astro. Ivanka Trump herself. Go into this in time. Why? I cannot believe that Astro just ignored me. Extremely rude. Handy if I could summon the right I've forgotten how to do my rotation. Oh, it's bridge time. This one. Fourth make Marias is bound for the 4th Legion's Rages and is compelled to reduce the resistance. I haven't done this one before. Glad that I can't drop ranks. Like, now that I've hit cap, I can't drop ranks by dying. It's just annoying. Shouldn't have run there. I thought I could make it, I could not. to make friends, but there we go. Let's do mages first, I guess. Assuming I can not get stuck on things. Not in combat, he's a dick. Oh my god, Jesus. Have done this one. Okay. I do apologise, it is real hunk hours in the train tonight. I got nothing. Didn't even get bloody memory from it. How rude. Right, let's see. Oh, I want to. Yes. I do want to do that one because I haven't done it yet. Do one point. Rush north and hope. Problem is, this one just goes so quickly. Wait, no, slow down. I want to join in too. The one time I did this and there was nobody here, I got one shot and had to lie there on the floor watching my fate time out. Extremely depressing. Food. I'll do breaking the ice. Try and work on my I need to stop this, otherwise I will have drunk a litre of lukewarm Diet Coke. Huh? Eyes emoji. Very commonly, might I have a word? Your valiant efforts on the battlefield continue to provide an ideal to which all of our soldiers aspire. After conferring with my superiors, they ask that you be made privy to the Resistance's highest accolades. The decorations awarded only to our most valiant soldiers, blessed to grant their wearers protection from those who would bring ruin to Berger. Few those who possess the metal to qualify for evaluation, but we believe you, Blake Conley, may be worthy of this most prestigious of honours. Your award resistance honours will be granted increased attributes. I'm doing stuff to save the Queen content. Large amount of metal must be amassed to be rewarded. Observing your exploits in the field of great interest. Don't know what that means. It's unlocked. Must amass sufficient metal. Speak to the Resistance Councillor to receive free metal, which can be exchanged for honours of your choosing. Cool. That's what time it is. It's at least bubble time. Do we have... The pure essences I have are ones that I can't use. Pure essence of the Elder, that's the right one. Do don't have an ordained, I just have a skirmisher. Okay, I'll do that then. You know what? Yes, I do. I do want to register. You know what, you know? I need to like make a note of the farms that I need to keep an eye out for. The farms, Jesus, the fates that I need to keep an eye out for. After this fate, I'm going to go get a drink. Get some orange juice. Ah, there is a person. Are they are. Exchange reses, even slow reses, for the Beastmaster Pagaga has returned to non-resistant soldiers to battle with abysmal pets. Unless the inferiority is clearly unclear. People in say chat doing a funky thing. To me, just because I can hate it on me. As it were. Also, I changed my 95 Ariada. I can't be asked. I want to work on the relic weapons more than I want to grind. Nice. Good notes on guys. We'll see you next time. Luck. Mark my words. Somebody in shout chat, there's just people knocking around in shout chat as they be. Somebody says Wise Minion is such a huge bitch, and somebody else says ask Leon that. And I will not hesitate to admit that my first thought was Bratty Bottom. I may helm the Monsieur Me ship and also the Little Makoto ship, but ooh, that looks new and interesting. I haven't done that one in Moral Dilemma. Skip. It's just a little creature. To withdraw from that, and then I forgot because I'm a fool. Anyway, the Niltra Makoto ship may be my main one, but a friend of mine's like, people keep saying they ship Menenius in the army, like, I just don't see it. I'm like, I do. But to each their own. Luffy's former superior officer, and principal ranged by the name of Cabano, is myself on the field beside him. Considering his reputation for atrocities, it would be a mistake to let him operate freely in the region. Lovra of Gunhilda's blades. In the name of the Queen, all distance must perish. No. The man has been tempered. Absolutely not seeing that. I missed the setup for the traitor dialogue, which is Papano being a dick. Should use up my last cure just to replace it. Okay, I love it. Oh, my brain is all over the place today. It's the second week of term. I deliberately made it so that some quarter would be easier, and it's the second day and I'm like, it's too warm, I have to die. I want to sleep. Resistance is questing Serpent's Wings. You bet your fucking britches, my dude. So we're up to his it's out, which must be defeated. And also an infantry who is for some reason I couldn't. I'm still missing a drop from here, so. It'd be great if I had the right cut out, wouldn't it? Can you imagine how violent that would be? Which I could quit with by the internet. The sound you heard there was FC chat followed by we'll read Hagagas afterwards. God, I'm losing my mind. I absolutely thought I saw something in a frog costume. I was about to, I'm like, Persian frog. Take screenshots, Frosty. Stop clicking up, but I can't get anywhere because my good dude's in. Anybody else dead on the grounds? hitting correct buttons against. The last one also beast. Nice, there we go. Troll zone 2 and then I'll get all of the ones that I've missed from there. Sweet. Gaga. Made a friend, but whatever. Not moving. Whisper. Like 4 more skirmishes and 3 more CEs and I'm done. I forgot I was still in that. Fuck. Don't go on to me. I have the need to sneeze and I've got something in my throat at the same time. I'm going to blame the fact that I went outside today. Extremely bad idea. Went outside in this weather in the middle of the afternoon to get my blood stolen, and even if I will get paid for it. as it's aggroed onto me and then floats off into the distance, so I'll let it do its funky thing. Dealing with company. Nice. Yes, I will register for that one. I do think I've done that one. Where am I at? 27 and 25. 3 more fates, 3 series. I can do this. The like 1 to 2 thing would be more fair if fates and CEs popped at like say every 2 fates you get a CE or something along those lines. You know what, let's just go in. I'll read my thing. Mind, I'm putting party of buddies together. This here probably be okay. All Legion reinforcements arrived in the form of unmanned magic horsemen. They must be stopped if their resistance is too advanced. So unfortunately, is known at Omega for producing many skill piece masters who read this afterwards. Probably be fine if I like wedge it in the corner there. Picture of it. That's why my phone just buzzed very loudly next to the mic. Too speed. Just let me feel. Just focus on not dying. Instructions unclear. I should be allowed to replace my lost actions while dead. It's just how it be, you know? You can see the red mage on there. Don't make me sit here forever with King Lorraine next to me. Why would you miss the plant? As opposed to the summoner who could ostensibly pick up the rest of their party. Just completely forget to sure did. Finds holster. Right. Now can I? No, I can't. Return entry. Yes. Maybe I'll make it this time. Probably not, but you never know. Meantime. The House of FFXIV is known in Amiga for producing many skilled beastmasters. They specialise in the breeding of training griffins, and those they raised are much beloved by members of the royal family. As griffins offer their riders an unrivaled degree of mobility in the store allies and battlefields, they had a central role in Amiga's Beastmaster Battalion. In light of their achievements in their and to be continued. Failed on the first attempt, Adon has 7 nights to save a poor teacher, other the Scarlet Storm, and help capture the throne warrior. Find him while he's still can have 1 credit, maybe. In light of the achievements in the raising of griffins, the FFXIV were made members of the nobility, and through that, though their status paled in comparison with more established houses, they served the nation diligently. So loyal were they to the royal family that when Garlemald invaded Almega, Khan, the last of the Rockstones, chose to let free the Griffins seen as kin and raised rather than allow them to fall into the hands of the Imperials. It is a tragic tale still told by the people of Almega to this day. Once the nation had succumbed to Gallia, all the Rockstones vehemently refused to use arms, because this is what I want. Garlemald Rockstones vehemently refused to serve the Empire for the good, stating that Griffin's spear Rania must only be used for the good of Almega and should never become cooked tools of the oppressors. The 12th Legion would have executed Calmar and for one of his sons, Gamp, for requesting to join the Imperial Army. He was known for his well-tempered and uncontrollable nature, but he was also the most gifted beastmaster of all the Khan's sons. In exchange for Gamp joining the 12th Legion and sharing with him his family methods of Griffin training, Cam was released. The fact that his family's name was intact, his name was granted a traitor was a little concern to Gamp, and he threw himself into the work of raising Griffins. However, his coarse and haughty demeanour made him extremely unpopular with the 12th Legion. Eventually, stories that Romantius newcomer reached the Gartis Garant with the 4th Legion. He took Gamp off their hands and ordered to bolster his own battalion of Beastmasters. Being transferred to a new legion did not to curb Gamp's insolence until he finally met his match. During a mock battle in which the 4th Legion's Beastmasters pitted against each other, Gamp was clearly outclassed by Leon the Beast King. Not one to take such defeats lying down, Gamp had to challenge Leon to various contests, all of which he subsequently lost. He became despondent and sullen, which only served to wind the rift between him and his fellow soldiers. A pitiful moment came when truths of the 4th Legion. Chief Beast. Nice. 4th Legion, driven with the Damascus rebels into the Namran woods. His commanding officer gave the order to set fire to the forest, but Gamp refused, claiming it would lead to the deaths of countless wooden creatures. These words fell on deaf ears, and when his fellow Imperials said about lighting fires, he separated from the rest of the battalion and raced into the forest. His griffin discovered a young, helpless Lalafan girl who appeared to be one of the inhabitants, and though Gamp only had little interest in other people, he heeded the griffin's cries and rescued her from the blaze. It soon became clear that she'd been left to fend for herself in the wild, and she was utterly unable to communicate, let alone read or write. Gamp named her Pagaga and decided to care for her as though she were his own. Though she did all he could to turn him away and refuse his affection, the look in her eyes told him all she wanted was to be loved. Perhaps she reminded Gamp of himself. Upon returning to the Legion, Gamp was charged with disobeying orders and absence without leave. Though this was enough to have him executed, Leon recognised Gamp's potential for request of more lenient sentence. He was instead punished by flogging, and after being crushed within an illness of his life, he was sent back to the stables. 3 days and 3 nights he battled with a raging fever, and he may have died were it not for the kind ministrations he received from none other than Pagaga. Having survived his ordeal, Gamp was a changed man. Any vestiges of his abrasive and repugnant former self had vanished. The good news is we have a healer in our party, which means I should be able to save my cures. As the saying goes, save your cures for another day. Apologies for letting me astray. How could you? treated others with kindness and respect. But sometimes the Legion thought its flogging finally put some sense into him. The young was sure that it was Pogara's devotion that helped Gant see the good in him. During the time working alongside each other, the young and Gant fought great enough for the 4th Legion Beastmasters fight down. It was not destined to last. However, as Gant's fighting years were cut short by an incurable illness, his lady Beatrice formally accepted Pogarda as his foster child, that she may bear the name of his stage. As he breathed his last, she vowed to build upon her father's legacy by becoming the greatest Beastmaster of them all, and one day surpass the young himself. And you're like, just give myself a little heal, and nope. Do one of those, I guess. Never mind breaking the asses up. I'm going to go over and do that because I'm determined to get these parts done. Can I drink my use while mounted? I can't. Of course I can't. I can't do anything while mounted in this stupid game. Are there people here? There are not. There is one real person. No. into the bottle to sit back and somehow get some healing from it. Should do one of those. Yeah. Stay here, just mount. Beast. With the mold for deadly divination. 2 more fates. 2 more seals. I can do this. Noises no matter what else. Recently. Well, it's 10 o'clock and I abruptly think, man, I am hungry. Then I remember that I got dairy-free ice cream in the fridge. She'll have to put it in a bowl because otherwise I could eat the whole thing. By who these mysterious policemen are. Alright, so load into the series. You know what, I'll start attacking everyone. Did not stop to see if any people were protected before I put that on, but oh well. I had this grand plan, so I barely got any sleep last night, and I had this grand plan where between class, going out and like finishing my going out and going to the hospital to get my blood stolen, finishing reading, I would, after stream, be absolutely knocked out. And then I had the brain genius idea. I was like, well, I'm kind of tired. I'll just get some cold Diet Coke. That will give me energy. And lo and behold, it's time to look on my blood. I'm going to be absolutely unable as per usual. because of the weather I wasn't sleepy because it was so warm. And I just died. That's what it was. I just died. I fell asleep somewhere between 7 and 8. I don't know how, given that my blinds are abysmal at like that. There we go. Whatever, I think I slowed. Did I get slowed or? Ah. Ellen has come to threaten me with a good time. So close to being done. Just need to troll zone 2 pages. I'll do seek and you will find since I'm up here, and then I will head back down. Am I the only person who accepted? Oh no. Scary. While we wait to see what's going to happen there, I'm going to quickly grab a drink. It is so much cooler in the living room compared to my room, but I made the official decision that once I finish bringing it and roll over, then I'm going to retire to the living room and get reading done there instead. Because I will die if I stay in this room any longer. I see. I'm an idiot. Well, you know how it be. I'm glad because we have to do it. Okay, come on. I can get credit for this. It'll be my last zone 1 fate. And I'll move up to zone 2. Didn't count. Aurora Fate as a treat. Beyond the grave, a very awesome name. Oh cool, and it's down here too. Even better. So close to being done with spare parts, I can feel it in my bones. Hopefully extra tank is gone. Down. My god. Because of how the names blended together there, I absolutely went, Tommy Rizzo? Really? There's someone with that name? Indeed there is. You can protect alongside your shell. It's a small play to bring ruin to their enemies. Price they paid quite willingly to summon with the dread spirit Shanhazai, I should say. Oh, yeah. didn't get hit by that, but that's okay. I forgot that Shanghazai was like, yeah, I'll just resurrect some people. What's it matter? Okay, Lainey and I are pressing people at the same time. Whoops. Sometimes it do just be like that. Close. Okay, anyone else dead on the floor? Nope, everyone's up. Sick. I'm gonna go fuck myself in zone 2 and manifest another CE down here. Because my books I need to work on, like, more than anything else. So a good place to stand. I sort of pop myself in the middle around here. Okay. Little effect as a treat. Just letting my horse wiggling around. Nice. My little effect as a treat worked. Revealed that one of the criminals who fled Germany with its treasures and tow none other than Onmyoji. They have designs to hand it over to the Imperials. They must answer to their crimes, and the Imperial treasure will return to its ancestors. Right to home. Spirit is willing, but the flesh is bruised and battered. Not too late for you, Yamatsumi. Consider return to Dom together. So my life, people like us know, behold the depth of my loyalty. So Wait, what a waste. Curses. Watching them escape. Master Abara, we cannot follow. We must rally more troops. You're right, of course. Let's return home. Let's go join this. Oh, no, I've done this one before, actually. Aida scales are said to be so resplendent, so beautiful, that a man could die of bliss from the sight of them. Her victims, were they still alive, would assure you it was her bone-crushing strength and venomous bite that did the thing. Vodka fun, which I appreciate, not least because in my Alliance, is it Alliance Roulette? Yes, it was Alliance Roulette. The hellish Alliance Roulette, which still hears off my life. Anyway, what am I saying? Fuck if I know. Oh yes, in my horrible Alliance roulette that still years of my life, I had a DPS called Whiskey Chemist. Shit. Teach me, huh? Looks like I have done this before. I recognise the mechanics, not just from O2 or whatever it is. If I get any more and don't die, each long stack I will take a screenshot of. There we go. Oh well. 6 isn't bad. Can make a better quality bone stacks on Richard. And also most used. I sure just made a blueberry noise, didn't I? also definitely just misread party invite as pity invite. It's like, well, no need to be so rude about it. Healer just left the party, so that's great. How can you call yourself vodka fun and not have something cool in your search thing? Yes. Just let me participate in this, enough credit, thanks. That's very good. I weathered the storm just as you taught me. Courage and skill. Right, back to playing fields and search. Pretty certain that's one of the ones I need for right, one of the ones that I need for things. I'm so good at speaking English, my native language, and yet cannot articulate myself at all. Me just now. Oh, my throat hurts. But I don't want to drink any more of my soda. What should I do? Forgetting I've already solved that problem. We're manifesting CE on zone 1. We're doing it. We're manifesting it together. presumed. One of the things that I really like about the way that they're doing the collections is that because you are like learning about your enemies, you get more than just like she's a beastmaster. You get she was rescued from a burning forest by a beastmaster, and when he died, she vowed to become the beastmaster ever, best beastmaster ever, even better than her. It's like, that's pretty cute. Like, I guess cute in the, like, hashtag imperialism, imperialist, the way that Gaius acquires children is by finding orphans and sowing seeds conquered. Definitely almost just said knives there. Belga says, we'll get you next time, mark my words. Come on. Manifest to see you in Zone 1. Run some of the mega raids actually to knock old memories out, as it were. Somebody in Say Chat is like, you in Zone 2. I'm just don't have cannot do this whole day. I used up all of my good at speaking to people energy at the hospital. About if the 4th Legions has obtained a sacred relic just in its powers to bring its demented will and sowing chaos across Zadnor. Bring an end to Purple's reign of terror here and now before it engulfs the whole realm. The whole realm, not the whole realm. Oh, my beautiful puppets, you are lovely even in your demise. But this is not my end. I have such grand designs set in stone. Hehe. May have staved off the assault, but the head of the snake yet lives. Puppet Master, he calls himself. Says we must kill him next time, or the blood of his victims will be on our hands. I do not disagree. Probably better to like do Zone 2 and 3 at the same time, but I kind of prefer it this way don't like. Infinitely more likely to actually make it to fates here if I can. I'm in this area. Should not have moved, I should have waited. Oh well, I'll get that quickly. I bought the like speed up thing. It has not made me any faster. I feel like speed up thing, clearly I mean right now I just can't speak English. Who is a little older. Excellent. Don't I go on to me, don't I go on to me? You can barely see me. Manifesting that zone 1 CA, lads. Let's do it. Apologies for the yawns, goodness me. It actually about reaching my limit. Yes, it's Thuban the Terrible, which I've done 50,000 times. 3 times, whatever, and doesn't drop any notes, but worth it if it drops my beautiful books. Manifesting that zone once a year. wanted was a book. We'll sit here and warm up. Something. Whoops. Okay, back. Marielle, a member of the new Gunholders Blades, is confronted with a challenge they seem to then have to face. Overcoming a tempered mentor, ABM covered an agency viewing the new, now fanatical, Lovewear. Still not manifesting this. Cannot fall here. My cognitus needed me. Lovewear, please, we can help. For kindness, at least his body remains uncorrupted. We can still. There is time. You're not my mentor. We will save you from this darkness. Us? I'm not gonna make it up there in time. If that was no 1C boss, dropping out this group and registering straight away. Let's manifest together. This teacher. Accurate, please. Some soldiers have tracked down Daybog. Learned with flying armor. They'd have a chance of saving comrade, they must first destroy the weapons. To insert plan that I live in 7/20/20. 2021. The weather stays like it has been recently. I'm going to spend my entire summer quarter inside. Resuming assault. If my Zone 1 CE doesn't manifest in 10 minutes. I'm going to leave and run a Drift Birmingham, combat civilians, return to base. Table! Get again with found in front, and he must remain at the enemy's mercy. Get out. The party noises you keep hearing are because somebody in the party I'm in is like scouting out the what's this thing called? Having through a whole bunch of more notes on Gaga. Yes. Manifesting it. Manifesting worked. Let's turn to zone 1. I will on those another time. Yeah. Have those bubbles pass me to forever. congratulations us on manifesting the Zone 1 CD that I needed. So there's this puggy that we were just fucking about with, Winter U, but acronym UW is, God, I really have got some shit guys. They're just a friend. No, pardon me. Yeah, I should rebubble myself. Rebubble? Never mind. Bunch of babies on board. So small. I was not in that. Whatever. Smite resistance. The scraping helps me move faster. The reason I like using Spirit of the Beast, I use Spirit of the Veteran sometimes, is because mostly of the healing, I like that. Oh, yeah, I remember. Sword. I should know that, given the number of times I've been running puppies through Belsa's Wall. Nice. Well, folks, with that, right, I'm going to back over here. Perfectly in time, because this is like just when I was going to leave and do a raid instead. These. 35 indigo stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 20. I was not paying attention to how many that was. I wonder if I couldn't already have the echo barding, which I don't. I'm gonna return that to inventory, and if it's tradable, wait. See if I can send it over to my orcs. No. I feel like I already have that, but whatever. Anyway. Alright, having done the important thing, let's go hand one of these in. I probably got like 30 indigo stars out of that, maybe 28. Also, Splinters represent the hosting this transaction as rival reagent. And I assume we have to parts. Everything appears to be in order. As agreed, here's the reagent. I know of you, anyway. Good of you to be taking time away from your forge just to make a delivery. Think nothing of it. Having carried out my fair share of weapon repairs and alterations, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious to see what it might be used for. Unfortunately, it took me longer to get here than expected, so I better get back to my other commissions. When you're finished here, perhaps we could discuss your work over drinks and it'll... yes. Before I leave, there's a proposal I wish to make. A wholesale contract for subsequent shipments to reagent. As a fellow artisan, I'm sure you can appreciate the convenience of a surplus stock. What's more, such a contract would eliminate much of the clerical work in requesting more from our goblin colleagues. We will eventually have need of more reagent, but enough to warrant a wholesale contract? Just think of it as a friendly agreement between artisans. Sorry lass, the answer's no. I'd rather boil my own head than agree to any more deals with House of Splinters and all the bloody places. You must forgive Geralt. It's not usually so forthright in these negotiations. That said, I cannot help but suspect that Mistress Rowena has some ulterior motive in allowing such a contract to be signed on her behalf. Well, you're free to believe what you will. With or without this contract, so long as the goblins get their parts, we can continue to do business. My invitation to Ilshire still stands, by the way. Hope you'll consider it when your work here is finished. She would still welcome Geralt and Ilshire for his long outburst. Perhaps Rotha truly was in good faith. I don't mind. Marene's just a businesswoman, you know. Maybe harsh, but it's what the end of it is called, boss that switch. Right. Oh, there's new stuff available. So, Dalriado Weekly, I see. And apparently there's a shop somewhere that here that unlocks that I can spend my platinums on. But either way, folks, I am going to end things off there. I am going to say sorry for that mix up with the audio. I don't know what's going on with the stream back. Thank you very much for watching, it is very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming Higurashi When They Cry and Yatsukushi Mote this Thursday, seeing what else is wrong in this strange new world that we've walked into. Then on Saturday it will be Neo Replicant, where we will be finishing off our first playthrough and getting an A. I won't be streaming on Sunday because I'm going to be out with IRLs, shock horror. But next Tuesday will be Final Fantasy XIV, where I'm probably going to swap back to our shard and keep going with the MSQ. So take care everybody, thank you very much for watching, I do appreciate it. Do have a wonderful evening, be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys on Thursday.